There had been many more before them, some to create, others to make the journey possible. This task was the last, but by no means an easy one. In fact, perhaps the most difficult of them all. Heaving 2 tons of bronze up a steep hill, their belief in each other sustained them. One wrong move could bring it all tumbling down. It was on the scale of the unpredictable. The heavens were filled with laughing, dancing gods fluttering their clothes in delight. A child is born. The ascetic Asita saw the signs, the markings on the babe, and wept. This child will become the Buddha. In a place far away and close to each one of us lie the mysteries of the sky, of beauty, of form. Mira searched through these mysteries, traveled by dark and by light, with a simple question. Buddhism and art live and thrive in the same place. How can it be?
Once there was a woman named Mira. She loved to draw, to paint, to create. One day, when she was little, her mother took her out to the garden. There are many forms of beauty, she told her, and strength in the secrets of form. Today, I will give you one. Her mother pointed to the buds and shoots of the flowers. It is the secret of Alpana, the careful flow of mind to hands when beauty is made. Do not strain, her mother repeated. It comes from love. Mira lived in Calcutta, the city of love and agony. Children brought her joy, but she saw violence in people's struggle. And this struggle moved her to create, to search, to find.
Från öckerloket hör strax spel och bas. Fullmånen lyser som fadern.
One day, she was told there was another place, a place in the west of plastic dreams and steel nights, different from the clay and rice paper her hands touched. She went to work in this distant place. She went, she saw, she stayed and created. Her teacher told her to go back, to know herself, to make art that came from her place, her own land of great traditions. In that moment of misery, she worked with a new anger and detachment and created her first true piece, a vessel, an original. She knew her form. It was time for her to begin again. She chose Basta, where artisans cast images in the magic of molten metal, where they worked in a spirit she had never seen before.
Here, among these people, existed a worship, not of a god, but of mortals who performed heroic deeds. In the wake of her new spirit, her hands now touching pure beeswax, sand, brass, and bell metal, The labor of love made her most happy. She talked to her dearest friend and told him about the people of the forest. These people had dreams the size of a matchbox. Her metal dreams were bigger. She was on the threshold. She left again, this time on the road, touching the sky with metal.
Then she came back home to Calcutta, where the government said all people are equal, and yet they were not. What could she do? In metal, she wrought images of alienation and revolution, of struggle and victory. She infused her work with the magic of the mystics and the rhythm of their dance. Her search for truth had begun. Slowly, she came to her own images of peace and meditation. Mira wondered, how does it happen that where Buddhism spreads, there is art, there is harmony? Through mountain, monastery, and cave, she searched. She saw the wonder of these Buddhas linking the sky and the earth. She sat there with the master potter, watching the flow of his hands on the wheel. Finally, he said, the meditation in our minds as we work takes the form of the vessel. This is Dhyan, the fountainhead of ultimate creation. My work is my religion. She found what she wanted, the confrontation between her and herself, where work was her religion and art was sacred. One day a man arrived with a briefcase. He belonged to a homeland but lived across the sea, in a place of money on trees and dreams crashing into oceans. He told her to build a sculpture of higher spirits. Mira decided on the Buddha, a godlike being, yes, but human, her own Buddha.
Mira was not confused. From the moment of her first sketch, it stayed with them. With 8 other workers, they began, working the metal to scale. In this spirit, they all worked. Mira became one of them. No distinction between artist and worker. The men labored and toiled. It was no small struggle. Sometimes they faltered, sometimes they yelled. The fires of cow dung burned their eyes. Mira slowly grew tired. Still she carried on, telling each of them, we are creating an icon of forever. One day, a telegram brought news. The man with the briefcase said, stop the work. They were not finished. They had barely begun. What was Mira to do? Her dear friend said, how are you going to finish? It is an enormous task. Perhaps you must stop. She was anxious and taut, in conflict. She went to her workers and asked them, what shall we do?
The first one said, we must rest. The second one said, we must have some tea. The third one said, we must go for a walk. The fourth one said, we must talk to God. The fifth one said, "We must have some music." The sixth one said, "We must have some food." The seventh one said, "We must stop." The eighth one said, "We must do as you say, Miradi." She turned towards the skies, and in the stillness, the words of the Buddha came to her.
Better to me is life in battle than I should live defeated.
With these men and very little food, they worked very hard through each day. Still there was laughter in their work. They shared whatever they had. Their work was fed by Mira's spirit.
Each strand of hair was complete. His ears, like large conch shells, hearkened to the sounds of the universe. The eyes of Buddha were open. Mira said, "The head is done." When the head is done, the work is done. I have no further worries.
On other Thursdays, I found her taut, anxious, wondering what was going to happen to this enormous work that she was doing. But on this Thursday, I found her relaxed, in a happy mood. I slept there together with, there were three of us. Mira was to sleep there, and Mira suddenly said, "Do you know what I saw?" I said, "What?" We saw that there was an empty bed with a flower on it, and the bed was going up. Could it be me? And the attendant, he said, "No, no, no, it can't be you. It can't be you, someone else."
She called me up to her room. The first time she told the nurse not to call me. When it was worse, she sent for me reluctantly and she held my hand. The last thing she said was, "At any cost, the Buddha must be completed." She had left them no plan. How were they to build this 14-foot Buddha? In front of them were 67 parts, already fired, a few left to be cast, each one still to be welded. They were not sure how. Still, every heart knew that the Buddha had to be finished. There was only one way to know. It came from the imprint of her spirit. The Buddha came to rest at a family's home, where Mira had stayed and been loved. They took care of her last work.
আলোয় আলোয় আমার মুক্তি ধুলায় ধুলায় খাসে খাসে এই আকাশে আমার মুক্তি আলোয় আলোয় দেহ মনের
Another man came from across the sea. When he saw Mira's creation, he was mesmerized. He had a vision to give Buddha a home, a place of breeze and light. sending his message over the hilltops. A home that Meera would have wanted for her Buddha. Meanwhile, Buddha rested in Calcutta for another 6 months. One day it was cart and crated it left for the mountains. There were many ways up to the mountain. To fly was one. To take the steep road was another. He could not make the journey all in one piece. He was too big. Like Meera, he had to be fragmented. Only to be put back together again. The journey was 3 days and 4 nights to the mountain. People came to pay respects, and others just came to look. But there would be hundreds with whom he would come to live.
अद्य मे सफलं जन्म सुलब्धो मानुषो भव
Afghanistan, Tibet, Thailand, Korea, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Burma, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, China, and Japan. Buddhism spread its wings, and everywhere it went, it inspired art. Through bronze and wood, clay and metal, leather, lacquer and silk, bamboo, script and paint, stone and gem, men and women express themselves. A genesis of Buddhist art through form, place and person. The secret was Dhyan. the total concentration of the mind that flowed into the hands of these artists. And like Mira, so many artists use the magic of this discipline and the tranquility of dhyan to express the struggle and misery that surround us. Thus began a life under thee, vast open canopy in the plenitude of nature, meditating in solitude, but never entirely alone. Like old times, art is returned to its original purpose, invested with magical properties and considered sacred, binding people. The Blessed One, the Liberated One, the Sanctified One, attaining true Dharma, escaping the realm of Mara, 47 days of not eating, not drinking, emaciated beside the Nanjana river contemplating peace. Then came Mara. Who are you? For your own sake you come here, to tempt me, harass me, terrify me. Yet again, as always, you will fail. Mara, with his army of passions and evil impulses, attacked Buddha in vain. Mara roared. Seize him, drag him, slay him. Faith is found in me, heroism and wisdom. Why dost thou ask about life from me? Who are you? When the blood dries up, the bile and phlegm dry up. When the flesh wastes away, still more does the mind become tranquil. Friend of the slothful evil one, for thy own sake dost thou come hither. With his powerful right hand, Buddha struck the earth in homage. The earth quaked 7 times and gave witness. Mara's army dispersed, melted away.
Mira found the answer in this Bhumi Sparsh Mudra as a symbol of him when he was so very human. Buddha at the height of his own struggle, the Buddha torn between temptation and desire, Buddha seeking the last step of supreme enlightenment. And to the earth he pays homage, and witness does the earth stand against evil and acquisition of the evil Mara. And to the void above does he salute, to the higher path where he belongs, where he moves toward.
For the people of Badam Tam, the Buddha watches over them, giving them peace in the everyday, binding people, earth, water, wind, sky.
Denna ögon lyser ljuset, Buddha, Buddha. Undret av Gud i dig. Through your eyes shines the light, Buddha, Buddha. Wonder of God in you. Wonder of God in you. Siddhartha, 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 mashallah. Siddhartha, Siddhartha. Wonder of God in you. Wonder of God in you. Gautama, 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 mashallah. Wonder of God in you. Wonder of God in you.